Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I am Key, the book eater, and in today's video I am really excited. I'm going to share with you books that have been overly hyped on social media, and I want your feedback if you have read them, if the books really live up to the hype. I have not read any of these books. Many of them are on my TBR for the end of 2021, and some of them are on my TBR for the beginning of 2022. I do have one book on this list that I will be reading this summer because I was told that this is the book to read this summer, and I want to know if it's really worth the hype. So let's dive right on in. The very first book that I'm going to discuss is We Were Liars. So I have seen this cover, this book, posted so much on BookTube, so many times on Bookstagram, so many times on Booktok, and even in my Facebook reading groups. The one consensus that I'm hearing, especially from the women who have read this book, is that this book is life-changing. I have saw on so many different blogs, women say that if you don't like reading, this is the book to get you into reading. If you don't like thrillers or suspense, this is the book to get you into that genre. I have never read We Were Liars. I have no idea what the book's about, but this book has shown up so many times. I wanted to jump into the rabbit hole and see if it was really worth the hype. I am nervous to read this book only because people have been talking about it for quite some time now, and so if I do jump in, and it's part of my personality that if I start a book I have to finish it. If I start it and it's not that good, I'm gonna be really devastated. So yeah, this is the first one. Have you read it? Is it worth the hype? Let me know in the comments below. The very next one, Blackout. This book came out this summer, and my face, tongue-tied. The Facebook groups that I'm a part of, there we go, Key, you got it. The Facebook groups that I'm a part of, many people have read this book and said that this book is amazing. It needs to be read this summer. And so I'm going to take the advice of my fellow book lovers, and I'm going to make sure that I read this book as part of my August TBR list. It's several authors who have written the stories in this book, and the cover is really gorgeous. And I went to I went to Barnes & Nobles and spent the $19.99 on the book. My rule of thumb, never spend more than $15 on a book unless it's your favorite author. That's my rule of thumb. But I spent $20, $19.99 on this book because people have hyped it up so much. I really wanted to know if it was as good as everyone says it is. But one thing I was told is that read it in the summer because that gives you the whole feel and the vibes, and I'm all for vibes and energy. So I'm going to read this book this summer, and I'm going to make a special video discussing this book to let you know if it was worth the hype. The very next one, Cinderella is Dead. This book has been everywhere as far as Booktok and Bookstagram, and everyone has said such great things about Cinderella is Dead. I know this is a story focusing on, I believe, the ancestors of Cinderella, or they're in the same lineage of Cinderella. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure that this queen right here doesn't want to end up like Cinderella, and it has to do with going against society standards for women. So like, I am woman, hear me roar, and like they're fighting back against the agenda, a male-dominated society where they're going to be selected to get married to Prince Charmings. That's from what the feel I've got from listening to people talk about the book. But again, I've never read it. This is going to be on my September TBR list. If you guys have read it, please don't spoil it, but let me know if you thought it was worth the hype and how many stars you would give this book. Moving right along, The Cousins. I am really excited about this read. I am really into thriller and suspense. The fact that their faces are X'd out, that's foreshadowing. I had to throw in my little English term, right? That's foreshadowing that something crazy is going to happen involving this family, and I'm all for it. I think the cousins are young, so maybe it's a YA. I'm not too sure. But yeah. Excuse my neighbors talking downstairs. It's always dead quiet until I come out to make a video, and then here comes everyone. But yeah, let's jump back to The Cousins. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book. It was on sale at Target, and I went to get it and it was completely sold out by the time I got there. So I had to get it on Amazon, and I got it for maybe 15 bucks on Amazon, give or take. So I'm really excited to see if this book is really worth the hype. If you've read it, again, please let me know how many stars you give it in the comments below. The Cruel Prince. This book is like royalty on Booktok, and everyone is talking about how amazing this book is. I don't really read this genre, but because people have hyped it up so much, I am going to give it a chance in an honest review. So my fellow book lovers, if this is your jam and it doesn't really work for me, don't get offended if it gets what it gets. But I've heard such fantastic things about this book, really, and I just want to know if it's great. You know, I have no idea. I don't even know who Holly Black is, but she's about to introduce herself to me really soon. This is going to be on my September TBR list, and so yeah, I'll let you guys know when I finish that one as well. Happily Ever Afters. This book has been promoted a lot in black girl reading groups that I'm a part of, and I've heard fantastic things about it. A blogger friend of mine just finished it, I think 2 weeks ago, and she told me she could not put it down. So I want to know what the jazz is about. I had already put in my bookmark to chapter 10 because I thought I could sit down and read it in one sitting. I want to try to give this a good read. Maybe I want to try to read it this summer, but I have so many books on my TBR list that I don't know if it's going to happen. But my blogger friend told me that this book was so good that I already put in my matching bookmark. It's like, okay, I'll read the first 10 chapters and see, and then if I can finish it, that day I'll finish it. But I haven't started it yet. So if I can squeeze this into my August TBR list, then I will. But if not, it'll definitely happen in September. Next, we have Fable. It's the cover for me. This cover is gorgeous, and I really hope the book is good. But even if it's not, I just am happy to have this cover on my bookshelf. This is the type of cover where even if the book's not good, you just keep it anyway because it looks really good on your bookshelf, and I like pretty books on my bookshelf. But I believe this book is about a pirate's daughter. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's all I know. And again, that's information that I've seen other booktubers talk about involving this book. I heard that this book is amazing. I heard that it's 2 books to the series, so hopefully that person who told me was correct when they said it's 2 books to the series. But yeah, I heard it's great, and honestly, this will be something that I throw into my November TBR list. It reminds me of something I would want to read a couple days before Thanksgiving. So if you've read it, let me know if it is really, really good. All right, or if it was really terrible. Just let me know either way in the comments below. And then finally, last but certainly not least, this Big Bertha right here, These Violent Delights. I was really nervous about purchasing this book. This book was 20 bucks at Barnes & Noble's, $19.99. And again, my rule of thumb is no more than 15 unless it's my favorite author. And I have no idea who Chloe Gong is. Hope I said your name right, Chloe. But it reminds me, just the cover, I think it's going to be something like gladiators or some type of fighting or some type of war and warriors, and it's really thick, which is fine, but I am nervous. I'm nervous because 20 bucks is a lot for a book, and it's a really thick book, and I'm going to have to invest a lot of time to finish it because a book this size will probably take me about 3 days to finish. The average book takes me about 1 to 2 days to finish, but this one will take me about 3 days to finish because I'm a poly reader and I read several books at once. So I'm just nervous because of the money that I spent and the time I'm going to invest in reading this. But I wanted to know if These Violent Delights is really worth all the hype that I'm seeing on Booktok, because I'm seeing this book everywhere. Everywhere. I looked cross-eyed just now. I don't know why. But it's okay. you know. Cross eyes are still cute eyes, all right? The point is, I've seen this book everywhere, and I just want to know if it's really that good. And so I'm going to jump out of my comfort zone of contemporary fiction, paranormal romance, and, you know, just romance in general, and dive into this. And I really hope there's some type of a love affair in this book. If there's some type of love affair in this book, it'll hold my interest. As long as two people are falling for each other and someone falls in love, this can easily be one of my favorite babies. But we'll see. So yeah, let me know if any of the books that I showed you today, if you have read any of them, if any of them are on your TBR list, if you have heard wonderful things about them or terrible things about them. I want to hear everything outside of what I'm seeing on social media about all of these books. And then I would like for you to please like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see future content from me. Right, Anne? Gotta say hi to Anne at least once a day. Alright guys, it was so great. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you read any of these books, and seriously, like and subscribe. And until next time, bye.